Personal Group, we're very curious about the connection between employee engagement and productivity. Our own experience over the last number of years is that an engaged workforce drives productivity and drives real business improvement. That's our business. We are in the business of helping our customers to improve the employee engagement of their organisation. We saw a productivity improvement for that group of people of the order of 20 or 30%. And that's because they became more engaged in their job. We gave them the tools, we invested in the technology, we made it possible for them to feel more part of what we do and the business that we run. They were more engaged and we got a much better result. We set out to explore the link between employee engagement and productivity. For those that we spoke to, it's clear they are linked. It's clear if you have strong employee engagement in your organisation, it will drive productivity.
Employee engagement's everything to my business. I have 8,000 people based in 15 sites all up and down the country. We're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So actually the difference in my business is my people.
The magic bullet that makes the difference is the quality and engagement of the people who are driving the business.
So employee engagement isn't just a switch that you can flick on, it's not just something you can do off the side of a desk, it's not a HR task. It's something deeper, it's something more emotional, it's something where people feel connected.
We're working long hours. You need to get on with your colleagues and you need to enjoy what you're doing. And that, for me, is important. I mean, if you get up early to come to the office to do something and get it done quickly so that other people can get on with their work, you've got to be motivated.
A satisfied customer relies on and depends on an engaged workforce.
Employee engagement is a huge part of our business success.
The real differentiator in this game is people.
Like many corporations, we employ a lot of people, many of whom work right at the coalface, dealing directly with customers and with their colleagues and with the products and services that we deliver. The engagement of those people and the passion and care that they have in what they do is what makes things happen.
An engaged workforce, does have a link to satisfied customers, because you get somebody that's an evangelist for your company turning up to meet with customers or delivering something to customers that's exactly what that customer visualised or wanted.
An engaged employee will go the extra mile. They'll do the thing that they otherwise wouldn't have. So they'll spend the extra 20 minutes with the customer understanding the problem. They'll spend the extra 10 minutes asking the questions that they might otherwise not have. They'll get under the skin of something. They'll understand actually the true insight behind a customer's problem or what problems need to be solved. And then they'll take it back into the business and they'll make a difference back in terms of our product development, our product roadmaps, the products and services that we develop and end up taking to our customers.
If our employees are engaged, they bring discretionary effort with them in the most remarkable way.
What we start to see with engaged colleagues is the ones who are really switched on, the ones who are really enjoying their job, start to push the boundaries, start to ask the awkward questions, start to go, but why are we doing that, Martin? Why shouldn't we be doing this?
If we've got great employee engagement, the numbers tend to look after themselves. And if the numbers aren't going according to plan, one of the first places you go and look is how engaged are the employees.
Undoubtedly, if you have happy colleagues, you will get a better financial performance. Undoubtedly.
Intuitively, I believe engagement is linked to financial performance, intuitively.
I draw a very strong connection between great talent, highly motivated, doing the right work, and business performance. I think they're inseparable.
Without doubt, where we've got businesses with great employee engagement, everything becomes a lot more straightforward. And the confidence of the business rises, the quality of what it delivers rises, and ultimately the results come through as well.
So I think colleague engagement strategies have a big impact on productivity levels. If I just take the business that I lead, which is a retail bank, my turnover is up, my revenue is up, my profitability has doubled over the past couple of years. The number of people I have in the business has gone down by 30%. Interesting, at the same time, my colleague engagement has gone up. If you don't have empowered colleagues or colleagues who think they have a role, an opportunity to either put their paw print on the business or come up with ideas to make it better, you're not going to progress as a business. It might be about a tool, it might be about a policy, it might be about a procedure, it might be about a product. But if you haven't got colleagues who at least think about that and care about it, they're not passionate about the business, they're not passionate about the customer, they're not passionate about making it a better place to be. You want people to come up with those ideas. The business leader, in this case me, I don't have all the ideas. My job is to create an environment where people will flourish and come up with ideas and think they have an opportunity, believe they have an opportunity to put that into practice.
You know, if you've got a big crisis or an urgent launch, something that's great but requires many more hours than people are contractually engaged for, you'll get that from people when they're fully engaged. You know, we all go through periods in our lives when we don't feel so engaged, and we know exactly what it's like. You know, come 5 o'clock, you're out the door. That's not the sort of organisation anybody wants. You want the job to be done.
Clearly the difference between someone saying, I've just done my job and that's, now I'm happy and it doesn't really matter what the end result is, that is inadequate in the current environment where everything's connected and everything's dynamic.
Ultimately, what customers remember is, of course, what we do, but they also remember how we do it. And that how is delivered by people. And we can't get away from that.
If you don't feel empowered to come up with new ideas in your organisation, I feel that's going to stunt innovation.
Nobody goes to work to do a bad job, but a lot of people end up doing that because they're not engaged. And it's much better to be able to sort of admit sort of gaps in your learning, and enable other members of your team, not necessarily a boss, but other members of your team to help you out. And that creates a culture in which everyone helps everyone else to actually deliver the end product.
The way you get people to go above and beyond the core of their job description is to want to do the job. And frankly, if somebody is only ticking the box of the core of their job description, they're probably in the wrong job. They're certainly not fulfilling their human potential. I think they're wasting their lives a little bit and should be doing something else or finding the spark in what they're doing. They're certainly not fulfilling the business potential. And that's a problem because of their cost, but it's a bigger problem because that role doesn't have somebody in it who's on fire and wants to get it done.
Let's do retention, first of all. So I measure two different things when I'm looking at it from an employee engagement angle. One is, are people staying with us? Are they enjoying the job? The other one I look at as well is absence, sickness levels. And again, real strong correlations there. So I can look at my best leaders in my best sites with the highest engagement scores. Guess what? Have the lowest attrition, lowest sickness. The leaders I've got where I've got question marks on them, whereas actually the engagement scores aren't as strong, guess what? High attrition, high absence scores.
The current culture is that no one knows whether their job's forever or not. They don't have the relationship with employers that they used to. There's not a relationship in general of trust between employer and employees. Employees now realise that they're just a resource to most employers. And if that's going to change, that is when productivity is going to increase again.
Your attrition and your turnover of employees goes up, and that's a cost to the business, bringing down your financial performance. So knowing and anticipating how engaged your employees are is a lead indicator for the results that the accountants and the auditors will sign off over the course of the year.
It's about, how do I feel doing the job that I do? Do I have a sense of purpose? Do I feel valued by the organisation? Do I feel as though I have a voice? When I say something, do people listen? Do people take notice? There's nothing more disengaging than feeling nobody's listening and you've got something important to say.
So when it comes to attracting and retaining talent, employee engagement is the crucial difference between a vicious circle and a virtuous circle. So when you have a highly engaged team and colleagues in the business, it's easier to attract people and they stay with you longer. And therefore you need to recruit less because you've got less replacements, and therefore you benefit from that and people stay with you longer, they've been more trained, they've been developed, and you get a return on all of the training, induction, all of the areas where the organisation needs to make sure employees are well equipped to perform. And in the reverse, if you've got low engagement, which leads to low morale, your attrition goes up, you have to hire more, your standards can slip, or you can't find the people, or the cost of recruiting them goes up, or you need to pay them more to compensate for other areas of the job which are less compelling to employees. It can go quickly in reverse. So the crucial difference between a virtuous circle which helps you attract, develop and retain colleagues, and the opposite is the extent to which you can engage employees on the overall business strategy, their pride in the business and the clarity with which they can perform.